unaffordability in Australia in real estate is about to reach an entirely new level, a level that most Australians simply cannot comprehend. Like, it's going to be incomprehensible as to how high the prices of property is going to go into this country. All right. And I've been telling you guys this over and over and over and over. I've been battering ramming this message out, been putting it out there saying, listen, you got to talk to us today. You got to buy something. You got to do something about this. You have to take action and do something. I've given you guys every fair opportunity and fair warning. And quite frankly, you've had a run. You've had a huge run in being able to buy something at these suppressed rates, these never to be seen again prices of property. We've just come off the back of 12 interest rate rises in a row. Now, that's taken a fair amount of time for the Central Bank of Australia to do that, to actually raise these rates. So you've had ample time to do something about that. And if you think prices are going to come down after 12 rate rises where prices continually went up, and now they're going to cut rates by 5 rates in a row, imagine the percentages, we don't yet know, but it is going to have a profound impact, and it is only the beginning, because they must cut rates. They are at that point where it has to happen. So I hate to break it to you, but they're not coming down. House prices are not coming down, okay? Pretty obviously they're going to go up. A lot of people have been out there complaining about prices of properties, the prices of eggs, the prices of everything. Everything costs money. In fact, people complain to me all the time about the price of my commission. I'm like, yes, everything's expensive. Sorry, that's just the way it is now. Now, on top of this, so all those complaints during the 12 rate hikes, the market didn't care. The market just kept rising, okay? Because that's your direct competition. They're continually going to buy property, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, the major banks have confirmed that there are going to be 5 rate cuts before the year's end, all right? This is a huge impact that it's going to have. These multiple rate cuts, whatever it is, if it's 3, if it's 5, if it's 10, it's going to have a profound impact, okay? It's only going to be fuel to the fire for this property market, and prices are going to run, and they're going to run very, very, very hard. I assure you that. Then there's the other component to this equation, which is the record migration into this country. It's creating that perfect storm because obviously you're adding competition, you're adding demand to the market, to rentals, to purchases. And the new arrivals, they need homes, okay? They need a place to live. They need something over the roof over their head. And they're not waiting around for it. In fact, I'm going to break some news here. I don't think this has been spoken of anywhere, but this is my on-the-ground, day in, day out intel. These guys are buying in syndicates. They're buying property right now like a wholesale type situation. They're like pooling together 30, 50 different people and saying, we need to buy a place. And it's an investment property. And then they're like, damn, there's some equity in that. Let's do it again. They are literally syndicating to buy real estate, okay? And they trust each other. They're working with each other. They're working with their own finance guys. I don't even know where they're getting the money from, to be honest. I do not know. But the money is coming in somehow, and they're syndicating and buying real estate. And I'm telling you, that's breaking news right now for you guys to understand. Meanwhile, in Australia, we have this other problem. The third piece of the puzzle here to the equation that's going to cause prices to continually move higher, but in a rapid form, is that the Australian government actually has not done anything when it comes to building more houses. They just talk about it. Oh, we're going to make Australia more affordable. We're going to build more houses. I'm so sorry, but this is just such an annoying antagonistic part of this equation. They're going to sell more houses. They're going to build more houses. They haven't done anything to it. They've made it harder to build, not easier. We've seen development costs go through the roof because they have sucked up all of the laborers to do their own projects. And then the free market actually has to turn around and try compete with them and has to pay higher rates if they want something built, if they want laborers, they want tradies. Okay? And I've taken proposed DAs to councils, multiple councils, and they're like, sorry, too many rooms. Oh, sorry, too much accommodation here. We don't need that. We don't want that. We don't want a rooming house. And I'm like, there's a housing crisis. You know that, right? Oh, yeah, no, we know. There's a housing shortage. Yep. I'm like, and you don't want more rooms? And they said, yeah, we don't want more rooms. Okay. Now, clearly that's not an email that they sent back to you. They only say this stuff over the phone. They are doing nothing to try to fix this. Nothing. I mean, nothing. Okay. So whatever little attempts, these retards up on the podium start talking about, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They're lying to you. They're not doing anything about it. So I'll tell you another thing about development. In the Lower North Shore, eastern suburbs, they've opened up all this sort of prime real estate along main roads where you can now do development. However, because in their infinite wisdom that this government has, they have said, well, we're just going to do everything all at one time. And when you have an abundance of anything, like an abundance of money, the value drops. Okay, so if you have printed a whole bunch of money, the value of money drops. If you create a whole bunch of development sites, the value of development sites drops. And then the owners are like, all right, well, let's band together and sell. Developer says, okay, I've got like 10 of these sent to me a week in prime locations. Like just 5 years ago, this would be like, wow, this is amazing. Look at this incredible site. Wow, this is, an amazing site. Now it's just like everything's a site. And so it's like literally, how can we buy this as cheap as possible? And then you've still got the factor of the development cost. You've still got all these other things. The homeowners are saying, well, we want to sell in a profit. Like if we don't necessarily want to sell, like 10 people at a time don't just coincidentally want to sell at the same time. It's driven by money. And if you can't pay them more money than they could sell individually as a house, they don't want to sell. And that's the circumstance they're in. They actually don't need to sell because they can sell it for more as an actual house. So the government have, like I said, I don't know if they're stupid or doing it on purpose. It looks retarded one way or another. We are walking straight into the last property boom in the 2020s. That's what this is. We're walking straight into it. And investment, I've coined that term, the last property boom of the 2020s, and I'm coining another term, which is investment property is now essential for survival. It's a survival mechanism. Investment property is a survival mechanism. I've actually had to sell a few properties for clients recently because they've just needed to sell. And one guy called me and said, look, what's that property worth that you sold to me, in 2021? And I've said, oh, it's probably about this, blah, blah, blah. We went through the whole process, managed to sell it out for him for, I think it was about a 500 or 600K profit. And he needed that profit. He needed that money. It was much more than he needed, by the way, but he needed it. He had, and as an essential necessity for him to pull that money, and he was able to do it. And he kept saying to me after settlement, man, look, thank you so much. Like that was literally so important. That was so important for me to have that. So the property saved him. I actually had a period in my life one time where the rental income from a property I have actually saved me. It was a long time back, it was many years ago, but I had circumstances, I had to do something, I had just certain things that happened, right? And the money that came in literally allowed me to do it, which was absolutely phenomenal, right? And it literally turned my whole life around. So look, I really want you to understand that we're drawing a line in the sand right now. The property prices are going to be out of reach for most Australians. It's not a common thing in Europe to go around buying property like it is in Australia. We could get to that point down the line, but one way or another, this country is being split into two. It's going to be split into owners and renters, rich and poor. You have to make a decision right now as to where you want to be. I've given everybody ample warning. I've been hammering out emails, I've been hammering out calls and texts to all of these guys on my database with regard to doing something about this. And I'm telling you right now, this is the literal last opportunity. This is literally it. It's come to the point. I can understand that most people don't want to do their homework until the last second, so they actually have the adrenaline to do it and get it out of the way. Well, I hope that's what everyone's been doing, but it's going to cause a frenzy within this market. If right now you can't see that the writing's on the wall, where we're going to be walking into rate cuts, we've had 12 in a row, didn't slow the market down, the market kept growing. We're going to see higher prices based on that. We're going to have more immigration into this country, and we're going to have nothing done about the housing crisis, okay? They're not going to do anything about it, all right? It's not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be just too little. It's going to be too late. House prices for established real estate right now are underpriced. These are never to be seen again prices, and I'm telling you this definitively. So look, if you're still listening to this, do me a favor. Do something about it. At least talk to us. Put your name, your number, your email below, or click onto a link and take it to a page. Do the same thing, name, number, and email. Find a way to get in touch with us. Go to brisbanepropertydeals.com.au, brisbanepropertydeals.com.au. Talk to us today. Figure this out. It's doable. And you know what? If you don't do something about it, I already know the country's being split into two, the rich and the poor. And it's not going to be, poor me, blah, blah, blah. We're literally moving into the default is failure. The default is renter. The default is poor. Okay, that's going to be it. All right. So if you want to flip this on its head and use this system to your advantage, which is completely doable, the system's set up for rich or poor. Okay, it's your choice. All right. What won't be your choice is when this gets out of reach. So do something about it today. Good luck. We wish you the best. But if you want to actually get the job done, click onto this link or however the hell you have to get in touch with us, just do it. Name, number, and email. Talk to me today. It's Adrian. I'll personally reach out, give you a call. We'll get on a Zoom call. We'll chat this through. We'll see your situation where it is. We'll tell you what you can achieve. all you have to do is listen to us. The thing I said to some of my clients, I'm like, listen, if you just got away, you've just got out of the way, if you just literally removed your opinion from this circumstance, and this sounds rude, but this is literally the truth. If you removed your opinion and just said yes to everything I say, you would A, have done this way quicker, and B, you would be successful so far. These are two things that I can say would happen, okay? Because in every instance, we've made every one of our clients money. Every single one of them, we've always made them money. So look, I hope you guys, take this to heart. If not, good luck with everything else. Like I said, get in touch with us below and we'll hopefully chat to you very soon. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching this.